Hello, one and all, to this edition of Kitz Corner. It's been a fantastic day so far with this new external microphone that we're testing out here. Hopefully, to do some out of the room, out of into the public interviews in the coming future as we still transition to uh better location. Hopefully, get things back on track. But it's been a bit of a long progress here. Anyway, let's get into this horrific story here involving this guy here, um, the wonderfully evil, maniacal, evil genius psychopath Bill Gates. And I know people are already thinking, like, well, this guy is just a nerd. He's just a simple, plain tech nerd who runs a multi-billion-dollar worldwide industry. How psychotic can this guy be? Well, as you dive deeper and deeper, understanding who this guy is, you should be worried and fearful of what kind of monster this guy is. Not only is he a monopolist who pretty much eats up the competition, he has no background in any form of coding, any form of technological advances. He basically just invested a bunch of money and then been stealing businesses left, right, and center. He bought his way into media spotlight when it came to vaccine patents. So he was able to become Mr. Savant of the vaccine COVID industry, even though he has no medical background whatsoever. This guy is beyond evil. Beyond evil. This guy's a supervillain. But people don't see him as a supervillain because he wears those, nice turtlenecks and a vest. And oh, look, he's so nerdy that how dare he become this heinous supervillain? Well, you're about to see here how diabolical this guy can go even further, because we all know that Bill Gates will do anything he can to take control of the world. He will do anything he can to seize opportunity away from individuals and take it for his own gratitude. He'll take it for his own grandeur of seizing control of the world. And now he's doing it into digital IDs. Why? Because Bill Gates, through his business practices, through his hedge funds and his investments, has opportunity at stake to roll out these digital IDs that will monitor and surveil and track down on individuals and steal their personal identities. Listen to this.
Every country struggling to find that boundary. The U.S. is a tough one because, we have the notion of the First Amendment. And so what are the exceptions,
So he's explaining in an interview here that we're trying to roll these out to all these different countries, but the U.S. is a little difficult because they have this thing called the First Amendment. Because he wants to roll out digital IDs to monitor people's opinions, people's speech. That's the point of all this. They're trying to roll this out not only to steal your identity and decide whether you can have a bank account or not, whether you're allowed to have apply for a driver's license, where your money's going towards, what you're shopping for. Not only for that insane diabolical reason, but this is also the opportunity for them to control speech, individual speech. And he's saying that it's good in any other country because they don't have the First Amendment, but the United States, it's tricky. It's tricky because that damn document that gives people the rights. Why does the US have to be so difficult? Why can't they just play ball? If only I could just take my money and just buy out America, which with his finances, with how grotesque of a billionaire, almost trillionaire this guy is, he probably could. He's almost there.
Yelling fire in a theater, and because you're anonymous online, it can be worse. I do think over time,
because you can be anonymous online, because you don't have to actually reveal your personal identity, it's hard for me to be a psychotic villain. It's hard for me. Why can't you just go with the flow? Why can't you just surrender to me? And then all these people, they're just screaming, fire in a theater. Like, what's that about? What's that about? That's your excuse why we shouldn't have the First Amendment because oh my God, someone might yell fire in a theater. Again, this is the longest battle I've had with people, and I am what I call a free speech principled person, meaning that I support people's right no matter what of free speech. No matter if I disagree with them, no matter if I like the person, if we all like the same person, then there's no need to protect their free speech because we all agree that that we like their opinions. It's the point of protecting people that differ from you. You know, the Alex Jones, the Steven Crowders, the Ben Shapiro's, the anybody you disagree with. We should be protecting their free speech because why is their speech different from your ability to have free speech? Why are we cookie cuttering it? You can't. It's either you're for free speech for everybody or you're not. It's as simple as that, folks. But according to Bill Gates, he has a hard time understanding this because the First Amendment, that means like everyone has the idea to like express themselves. And it's hard to like track down individual identities because some people can like make up avatars and usernames. It's rankling my brain. My lizard brain is going off. I can't be evil when there's these loopholes. I'm usually the guy with loopholes. You can see he's actually struggling with this. He's struggling with the fact that the First Amendment exists in the United States. He's struggling with the fact that there's countries out there, not all of them, but there's countries out there that actually protect people's ability to fully have individual rights of expressing themselves, be having free speech, practicing their own religion. That's the whole purpose of the First Amendment. That you can't have multi-international businesses or corporations or governments or any sort of tyrannical force pressuring down on people's ability for free speech.
You know, with things like deep fakes, most of the time you're online, you're going to want to be in an environment where the people are truly identified. That is, they're connected to a real world identity that you trust instead of just people saying whatever they want. And so the idea of provenance, who sent me this email, was that really them? You know, we're going to have systems and behaviors that we're more aware of. Okay, who says that? Who created this?
So this is why he's going with digital IDs, because he needs to track down who said what, where it came from, and track down exactly where these people are. Because again, just like what we're seeing with the UK, just like we're seeing here in Canada, just like we're seeing parts of the United States, just like we're seeing around the world now, that there is a global censorship effort, meaning that law enforcement are entangled with this tyrannical authoritarian measure to track down, to surveil people, track down their speech online or post or something that they shared that goes outside the box, outside the norms of what's acceptable in society. Meaning if it doesn't go along with the establishment, anyone that steps out of line could be faced with a jail sentence or worse. That's what this guy is doing. That's what this guy is advocating. And he's frustrated that there's a First Amendment laws in the United States. He's frustrated that countries have the ability to protect their citizens from tyrannical forces like him. He's frustrated by it. He's absolutely flabbergasted by the fact that, the First Amendment, it's a lot harder to like trace these people down, arrest them. It's so hard. God. I just wanted to roll out these IDs so we could track and surveil and locate you, get a bunch of cops at your door, and then arrest you for a retweet. Why can't we just do that? You can see he's like, he's wrinkling his face so much. He's flabbergasted in the fact that I can't do this. I thought it was so easy. I thought it was like the olden days, like where we could just go over the peasants and just control the lands. Now there's like these documents and there's legal things and can I not just buy the Constitution and then just change it? I shouldn't even be suggesting that because, you know, I don't want to give him ideas. I don't want to give him ideas. As psychotic that sounds, and I doubt that would ever happen. There could be a possibility that there might be one billionaire or trillionaire who has the balls to think of, hey, why don't I just buy the Constitution out? Why don't I just buy the entire Justice Department? Just to jurisdict the fact that I need to be supreme leader. And this guy is so desperate to be supreme leader. If only Jeffrey Epstein was by his side, right? They're the best of pals, even though he tries to ignore the fact that, oh, I don't know who this guy is. I mean, I visited his island and went to his resort a couple times with a couple of girls and underage people, but I don't know who this guy is. I don't know who this guy is. So then I want to show this too. So this is from Biometric Update, because remember when the ArriveCam app was rolling out during COVID and it got scrutinized, it got harsh reviews, people called it out. Then they tried to fundraise and they got more lobbying firms. They got tax dollars by the millions to try to roll this out as soon as possible. But people saw through this. They saw how psychotic it was. The ArriveCam app was nothing more than just an increase of the surveillance state and nothing to do with COVID. Well, even with or without ArriveCam, they're still rolling this out. They're still rolling out some sort of complete digitized governance over people. They want to roll out tyranny authority as much as possible, with or without COVID, with or without ArriveCam, with or without Justin Trudeau. That's how sinister it is. Because this is something that it's not the Canadian government that's proposing this. It's actually the World Economic Forum that's proposing on this. We're just the guinea pigs. We're just told that we have to do this or else. This is the true tyranny that's taken over us by storm. So it goes on to say the digital governance continues to firm up in Canada with new frameworks and public consultations. A release from the DGC outlines the 3 pillars of the Digital Trust Conformity Assessment Program: enhancing service delivery, safeguarding digital infrastructure, and scaling digital talent and domestic innovation, calling it a significant advancement in the standardization and verification of digital practices. The DGC, which is the Digital Governance Council, says its new program provides organizations with a clear path to demonstrating digital trustworthiness. PlaceSpeak, a location-based community consultant platform, is among the first to be independently verified by DGC and awarded the DGC trademark. The recognition is intended to demonstrate leadership in digital governance and enable clients and partners to engage a firm with the full confidence in their commitment to data security and best practices. We commend PlaceSpeak for their pioneering spirit and invite other organizations to follow suit, seeking the DGC trademark as a declaration of their pledge to a secure, trustworthy digital future for all Canadians, says the DGC's release. However, as they're telling you how safe and convenient and how much of a blessing it's going to be, because now you don't have to remember like passwords. Everything's just all in one application. They don't tell you who's actually behind these platforms. They don't tell you who's behind the digital IDs. They don't tell you where that information is going to and what that information is used for. Because other documents, other revelations have proven that this is going towards security apparatuses, the intelligence communities here in Canada and the United States and other countries that are rolling this out to make decisions based on your half. So, for example, if you want to go travel somewhere You want to go for a nice little break, getaway somewhere. They will monitor you and they will decide whether you're allowed to travel to that place. They'll decide whether you can rent a car. They'll decide if you can start a bank loan. They'll decide if you could pay for your college tuition. They'll decide if you could go out for dinner with a date, because everything will be connected to this application. They want everything to be smushed together to this application. And that is what's petrifying, folks. That is the wake up call. That is the red flag people should be aware of. Because it's not just one ID, it's not just one I can't even talk today. Specific parts. It's not something, one specific part of a digital ID. It's cultivating everything. Every aspect of your life is going to be thrown into this application. And you don't know where it's going to end. You don't know what's going to happen to it. And also, here's a little fun fact that I just threw this in because just to show you how easy it is for the billionaire class. And again, this is how they could rule over you, because Bill Gates just magically became an Estonian e-resident. That's how easy it is for him. He could just be a resident anywhere. All you need is just to sign up. You just sign up and you could be a resident anywhere. It doesn't have to have any legal arbitrations. You don't have to put a name of residency or any address. You don't have to prove that you are a resident here and you want to become a resident. You can just go anywhere when you're the richest evil psychopath. But for us, because of how diabolical these digital IDs are, they can also decide the fate of your citizenship. If they don't like what you're doing, and if you're not fitting into their society, they can put you out. And it's scary, folks. It's scary, folks. I just saw a documentary recently on what's going on in China with the Chinese Communist Party and their technological overlord of this kind of one app situation where it controls everything. It controls everything that you do. They're constantly monitored, they're constantly surveilled and tracked and traced. Definitely with COVID, they saw the hindsight of it. The only difference is between China and what's happening here is that China at least knows that they're getting surveilled. People in China know that there is harsh penalties. They know what this app is doing. They know personally what the government is doing involving these digital IDs. People over here have no idea. People have no idea. They're just, hey, it's convenient. Can you imagine just everything in one app? Oh, that's so beautiful. I don't have to worry about, a wallet and cards. I can just put it right into my phone and then have the government have constant surveillance over it. Because I'm just me. I don't want to make my own decisions. They rather have psychotic overlords like this guy, this insane, evil monster in a sweater vest, take control over the world. Because how can we not trust a nerd? How can we not trust a tech billionaire who owns pretty much everything? And because he pretty much owns everything and monopolizes every single aspect of technology, it's dangerous, folks. I mean, look at what happened with the Microsoft downage that took the world by storm. You imagine if one company had control over everything and something like that happens, what do you do then? What do you do then? That's why it's important to have options. That's why it's important to understand how diabolical this is and point these evildoers out. Because these digital IDs are not helping anyone. They're actually more of a hindrance and hurtful to society than they are a convenience for everyday people.